Hey guys, Mr. Farmer here. Today I'm going to be covering Chapter 2 from your AutoCAD instructor textbook. Chapter 2 is working with files. Our objectives for this video are to be able to name drawing files, to be able to use file-related dialog boxes, to be able to use the Windows right-click shortcut menus, to be able to navigate and create new drawings, to be able to open and close drawings, save drawings, know when to use the Saveas function, and understand how to use the partial open, partial load, and be able to practice good file management techniques, which is really important when you're dealing with AutoCAD files. So we're going to jump right in. This is going to be a relatively short video. There will be a quiz at the end, so make sure you're taking notes, following along. What we're going to start with here is opening up AutoCAD. The AutoCAD 2022 icon is just a large red capital A on your desktop. So you can double click that to open. It may take a while to load the first time you open it up. Alright, so first time you open up, you're not going to have any recent documents, of course. I'm going to close this so we're not distracted. Over on the left, let's just talk about what you see here. We've got a couple of options. We can open files, or we can create new files. If we had any existing files, they would show up here in the recent files folder, and you would be able to see pictures of them here in this section. Let's talk about the application menu. So the application menu is up in the top left-hand corner. It's this red capital A. You can drop that down. This is your application menu. So a few of the same options here with some new ones. We've got the new function, the open function, so we can open a drawing or a sheet or sample files. And then we've got the recover option here. We'll talk about that a little later on. But just know that this thing in the upper left-hand corner is the application menu. All right, let's talk about new. When you open a new file, you're going to use the new command. It begins a new drawing. You're going to use this option if you want to create a new drawing based on an existing drawing template. What is a drawing template? If you see a DWT file extension, that's a drawing template. There's a few of them that we're going to use, and we'll get into them later on. You'll be really familiar with them. There's a couple of different ways to do this. You can type the file, or you can click File New, so we can go up here, the application, New, or I can use the New button right here and use one of these templates, right? There's also a Quick New function. So Quick New is intended to immediately begin a new drawing using the template file specified in the Files tab of the Options dialog box. If the proper settings are made, Quick New is faster to use than the New command, since it does not force the Create New Drawing or the Select Template dialog box to open as the New command does. So if I'm in a hurry and I want to start a new drawing, I can use Quick New, just literally click the word New, and it's going to use whatever template was being used at my last drawing. All right, there's also the Open function. A couple of different ways you can get to this. I can go to File, Open, or I can use the Open function right here. The Open command produces the Select File dialog box. In this dialog box, you can select any drawings from the current directory list. Picking a drawing name from the list displays a small image of the drawing in the preview tile. Select the Open button or double-click on the file name to open the highlighted drawing. So I don't have any existing files here, but if I did, opening files, I could see an example of what those drawings would be. Right? There's also Open Read Only, where it opens a drawing file for viewing, but you're not able to edit the file. That is Open Read Only. You can see it, but you're not able to edit it. Recent documents, you can use the Recent Documents list right here. You can use the Recent Documents list as an alternative to the Open command to open current drawings. If you select the Application menu, remember that's the red letter A up here, the Recent Document list appears on the right. Okay? All right, let's just open this new drawing template. This is our workspace. I'm just going to sketch something here, a couple of lines. Great, that looks fantastic. Let's talk about how to save our work. So Once again, there's different ways to use these commands. You can use the application menu, you can type a command. There's all sorts of different ways we can do this. So let's say I'm working on this drawing and I want to save it. Now, the save command is intended to be used periodically during a drawing session, and the recommendation is every 15 to 20 minutes. Every 15 to 20 minutes you want to save your work. Don't depend on this thing to autosave. It's not like Google Docs or Google Sheets where it saves your work automatically. You have to save your work. You have to create that checkpoint. So I can go up here, Save As, right? I'm just going to click Save As, and it's important to organize your work. So wherever you're going to store your work, make sure you've got a folder. I'm just going to create a folder on my desktop, right? And this is going to be my AutoCAD projects. So there's my folder. And I'm going to say this is drawing 1. Save, right? That is one way to save. I can also, down here at the command bar, I can type the word save. And I get to the same menu, right? So you can file save, or you can type the command save. The first time you save a file, it's going to be a save as. You have to give it a file name. After that, you can just quick save. So file save, and it doesn't ask you for a file name after that. It's just going to overwrite the new one. That is quick save. Quick save saves the drawing under the previously assigned file name. All right, the save as command. There's a few reasons you're going to use save as, aside from the first time. Number 1, to save the drawing file under a new name if desired, right? Let's say I wanted to make a copy of this. I can go to File, Save As, and let's call this drawing 1.1, right? So on my desktop now, you can see there are 2 different drawing files, okay? And you can see that drawing 1 backup file. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Back to what I was saying. Save as. Save the drawing file under a new name if desired. Number 2, you can save the drawing file to a new path or a new folder or directory location. Number 3, in the case of either of these reasons, assign the new file name or path to the current drawing. We'll talk about that more later on. That has to do with how you structure your folders. Number 4, you might use the Save As command to save the drawing in a format other than the default AutoCAD format, such as .dwt, .dws, or .dxf. All right, let's keep going here. You can save an AutoCAD 2021 drawing in several formats other than the default format. So you can have a drawing, a DWG, or a template, a .dwt, as we looked at earlier. Digital signatures. A quick note on digital signatures. You can attach digital signatures to any of your drawings. What does it do? Well, if a drawing has a digital signature assigned, it is designated as an original signed copy, and it is dated. Right? Think of it as printing out a piece of paper and signing your name on it. Users can be assured that the drawing is original and has not been altered in any way. If such a drawing is later modified, the digital signature is then invalidated, and anyone opening the drawing is notified that the drawing has been changed, and the digital signature is then considered invalid. This is like signing your work, like Picasso signing one of his paintings. A digital signature, right? Okay, how to close files. There's several different ways to do this. I can use this little X right here to close the file locally and keep Autodesk open. I can use the X at the upper right-hand corner to close the whole program. I can come down here to my commands and type close, right? That'll close it. I can Control Q is also a way to close and quit the program. A lot of different shortcuts you can use, right? So there's close all. The close all command closes all drawings currently open in your AutoCAD session. If any of the drawings have been changed but not saved, you'll be prompted to save those changes before you exit the program, right? And then there's an exit function just to exit AutoCAD altogether. Right? Now that we've made a drawing, you can see that we've got some recent drawings here that show up on our, what I would call the dashboard, right? So if I go to Open Files, right, I can see these files on my desktop now, .dwgs, okay? Let's talk about this thing right here. You see this drawing1.bak. .bak stands for backup file, right? Every time I save a file, if I'm working on drawing 1 and I save it, when I do that, it creates a checkpoint and it creates a backup. That is for a few different reasons. Number 1, if you had like a power outage or your computer shut down, or froze or AutoCAD crashed, any of those reasons, you can use that backup file to go back and get whatever work you had. You haven't completely lost it, right? So when a drawing is saved, AutoCAD creates a file with the .dwg extension. For example, if you name the drawing Part 1, using the save file creates part1.dwg. The next time you save it, AutoCAD makes a new part, part1.dwg, and renames the old version, the previous version, to part1.bak. Only one .bak, or backup file, is kept automatically by the system, right? Every time you save it, it overwrites that backup file. You cannot open a backup file directly, right? I can't just double click this backup file and open it up. I have to rename this. So I have to go in here and get rid of this BAK and call this DWG, and that's going to make it a drawing. I'm not going to do that right now, okay? Because that would overwrite the other drawing that I had, right? That is how you use a backup file. Once again, in the case of an unexpected or accidental shutdown, such as a power outage, drawings that were open when the shutdown occurred can be recovered. This is one way to do that, by using the backup file. Okay. One final note, safety and organization are important considerations for storage of AutoCAD files. AutoCAD drawings should be saved to designated folders to prevent accidental deletion of system files. That's extremely important, guys. Organization is key here. This is not like your Google Drive where you can just throw a bunch of files in there. We got to keep this very clean, very organized. Make sure your file names are meaningful. Make sure your file names make sense. For example, I wouldn't recommend creating a drawing. Here's my circle drawing, right? And I'm going to go to File, Save As, and just type some gibberish in here and go on about my day. That's not something you want to do. Come up with a system that works for you. For example, I might say File, Save As. This is Farmer, January 6th, Project A, or something like that. Something very organized where I can find that file later on and know what it is. Hope that makes sense. Everything you're going to save is going to be on your local computer. It's not online. If you're going to save on a flash drive, make sure you save it on your computer first and then move it over to a flash drive later on. So your exercises for Chapter 2, there are, let's see here, 9 exercises that you're going to do, and we'll do those in class. So hopefully after watching this lecture, you'll be well prepared to do those. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. Thanks for watching.